Welcome to Atlantic Coast Conference Softball on the ACC Digital Network. Today, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets trying to salvage something out of this series. They lost both games yesterday. Today, we have got Game 3 as Georgia Tech takes on the Hokies of Virginia Tech from Virginia Tech Softball Park. We're in Blacksburg, Virginia on what is a gorgeous day for softball. Hi, folks, and welcome to Blacksburg. I'm Mike Hogwood along with Barbara Jordan. And Barb, you take a look at this game. It's a big one for Georgia Tech. They have been so inconsistent this year.
They have been inconsistent, but one thing they've done very nicely is they've gotten back on track, and I look for them to do that here today.
Well, one person I think who's going to have to come up big today is Ashley Thomas. She's having a great year.
Ashley Thomas is the spark plug of this offense. What I like about her up to bat is she puts pressure on the defense. She has a lot of touch, she can bunt, she can slap, and she really creates a lot of havoc.
And today pitching will be Hope Rush, a senior. She's had a great career.
Hope Rush is in the record book already 11 times. She has the experience, she knows she needs to make some adjustments today, and I look for her to get them going.
Well, Virginia Tech has won 5 of their last 6 games, and one of the reasons why is their senior Courtney Little.
Courtney Little has great character off the field, and she brings that on the field. She's their most feared hitter, and she really leads the way for the Virginia Tech offense.
Well, we're expecting a good game today. It is Game 3 of the series, Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech. We'll tell you about the lineups and get going when we come back in just a moment.
The ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games, and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
What's better, bigger or smaller?
Bigger!
So which would you rather have, a big treehouse or a small treehouse?
If it's big enough, you can have a disco. Oh, yeah.
Why do you not want a smaller treehouse?
Because it wouldn't be able to fit a flat screen TV, and then the TV would be about this big, and you would have to hold the wire. In the position you would hold the wire, you wouldn't be able to see the TV.
That's a pain in the buns.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
Good to have you with us here in Blacksburg today. We are underway, and Georgia Tech here in the top of the first. Ashley Thomas, the shortstop, is the batter. We talked just a moment ago about what a great year she's having. 5'7" junior out of McKinney, Texas. Count to her, no balls and 1 strike. And on the mound, Jasmine Harrell is the pitcher for Virginia Tech. And going down swinging an early strikeout, Ashley Thomas. And that's good when you can get the top of this order.
Top of the order, 1 and 2. They both have on-base percentages over 600. It's a nice job striking out Thomas for the first out of the game.
Now here's Alicia Rudnick, who's having a great year, 5'8" junior out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, hitting .396 on the year, 6 home runs and 34 RBIs. Hope Rush, the pitcher, is on deck, and then it's Morgan Taylor. That's a cross for a strike.
Rudnick's really done a fantastic job this year. We'll talk about it a little bit later, the loss of Kelsey Weisman graduating last year. Rudnick's really picked up the way, especially being an emotional leader as well.
Fouls that one back out of play. Mike mentioned this is the 3rd game of the series. Yesterday, Virginia Tech won game 1 7-2 and then won the second game 10-2 in 5 innings. Rudnick is hitting .538 in ACC play. She's 14 for 26. Georgia Tech 4-4 in the league, 17-21 overall. Little outside, will leave in the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Rudnick, who was the player of the week in the ACC the first week of the season. Georgia Tech got off to a great start. They won their first 5 games, all on that opening weekend.
And the way their season's been going, they won their first 8 out of 10, but then lost their next 8 out of 10, and that's kind of how their season's been going since. They're really trying to put together a little bit more consistency.
So far, 2 up and 2 strikeouts for Jasmine Harrell, who did pitch yesterday.
Harrell's done a nice job on the year, coming off a fantastic junior year. And she's been able to share the workload a little bit with Kelly Hines this year, which should really give her a lot of strength heading into postseason.
In the game she pitched yesterday, she walked 3, struck out 8, gave up 7 hits in 7 innings, and allowed only 2 runs. It was a pretty good outing. Hope Rush is the batter now for Georgia Tech, the senior. She'll be pitching today out of Stockbridge, Georgia, hitting .324. 12 home runs and 41 RBIs on the year. Fouls that one back and out of play.
Talk about the consistency. Hope Rush has done one thing, not one thing, but one thing she has done well her entire career is she's been a consistent hitter for Georgia Tech from her freshman year all the way through her senior year.
That's a cross for a strike and leaving the countdown. Hope Rush yesterday was 2 for 2 in the first game, and in the second game was 0 for 2. She's not been hitting the ball particularly well lately. 1 for 9 in the Virginia series 2 weeks ago, and just 2 for 7 last weekend against NC State. Runs the count full as that one's down and inside. Last weekend, Georgia Tech did win 2 of 3 at home against State. They won 2 of 3 against Virginia, so they've won the 2 ACC series coming here, but won't win this one after losing both games yesterday in the doubleheader.
And that's why today's such an important game for them, because they did get off to a great start in the ACC. And although they dropped 2 games yesterday, it's important that they come back today and put themselves back on the right track.
As we've mentioned, this is a Virginia Tech team that had a great spring break trip to California. We'll talk more about that. And then after slipping a bit, they've regained their stride. They've won 5 of their last 6. And that is ball 4. Hope Rush is aboard with 2 out.
Nice job of Harrell, really keeping that inside pitch tight on Rush and respecting the power that Rush has, and really just missed on that pitch. It's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes.
Now one of the new young players on this Georgia Tech team, Morgan Taylor, who is the designated player, 5'3" freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida. And it is going to be tough for Sharon Perkins. She's got to be patient with this young team. They're going to be good. These were all highly recruited players, but getting adjusted to college softball.
Well, she's not only got a great young class, she's got a great recruiting class coming in the next couple years. So she's really got a lot to look forward to.
Taylor hitting .252 on the year, no homers and 19 RBIs.
I tell you, I really like Taylor's cuts, and I like how aggressive she's being coming right up to bat. That's a sign of a good hitter. If you want to get a hit, you come up and you swing the bat.
He was a great hitter in high school. Was a Triple Crown Sports All-American. Had 1 hit yesterday. She was 1 for 6 in the 2 games. Fouls that one off. Taylor making her 38th start today of the season. She has started all but 1 game this year.
You really take a look at Taylor, where she's standing in the box. She's right on the batter's box line. I don't think she can get any closer to the plate. So she's really daring Harrell to throw it inside, and she's preparing herself for that outside pitch.
Counts a ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and how about that? Harrell gives up a walk, but she strikes out 3. Nothing doing for Georgia Tech in the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the inning. No score here in Blacksburg.
Don't forget to visit the marketing table to pick up team posters.
What's better, bigger or smaller?
Bigger!
So which would you rather have, a big tree house or a small tree house?
If it's big enough, she can have a disco. Oh, yeah.
Why do you not want a smaller tree house?
Because it wouldn't be able to fit a flat screen TV, and then the TV would be about this big, and you would have to hold the wire. In the position you would hold the wire, you wouldn't be able to see the TV.
That's a pain in the buns.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
You can't keep greatness in a box, so we won't. The ACC mobile app, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Imagine seeing this on this. That's greatness. For the ACC schools you live for, it's the app you can't live without. Available on your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Nokia Lumia Windows Phone. The ACC mobile app, live games, video, scores, stats, news, and greatness. Search ACC Sports on your mobile device.
Mike Hogwood, Barbara Jordan back with you here as we head to the bottom of the first. Georgia Tech in the outfield will have Caitlin Cates, Haley Downs, and Katie Johnsky. Alicia Rudnick at third, Ashley Thomas at short, Chelsea Thomas at second, Caitlin Coffey at first, Courtney Zizi behind the plate catching. Hope Rush, what a career she's had.
Leading off for the Hokies.
Hope Rush on the mound once again. She's really done a great job throughout her career. She struggled a little bit this year, but the Georgia Tech, not just Hope Rush, but others are overcoming a lot of injuries, and they're trying to get back on track and find some consistency in the win column.
Lauren Gaskell at the plate to lead it off for Virginia Tech. Hope Rush on the year is 9-11, an ERA of 3.71.
Hope, she's known for her drop ball. She can throw it to both sides of the plate. She also has a curve.
Gaskell is the center fielder. And that an easy play and one down. That'll bring up Kylie McGoldrick, sophomore out of Stratford, New Jersey. McGoldrick hitting .347, 3 homers, and 12 RBIs on the year.
McGoldrick's done a nice job in the 2 spot. And one of the things that's important for Gaskell and McGoldrick is to find a way to get on base, because with little up to bat next, everybody knows she's the most feared hitter. If they can get themselves on base, it forces the pitching staff to pitch to Little.
You know, Barb, both of these teams have had some injuries that they've had to overcome this year. McGoldrick missed 8 games with a knee problem, and that really affected Virginia Tech this year.
Well, and they've had the same 1, 2, 3 in the lineup since last year, so when you have to take somebody out like that, you're kind of tampering with the formula.
McGoldrick was on the ACC All-Tournament team last year, had a good year as a freshman. It is her second year as the starting second baseman. She started at second base and she walked on campus here in Blacksburg. 2 balls, no strikes, the count to her. That's a cross, strike 1, 2-1.
Nice job by Rush coming back right there. One of the things that's going to help Rush be successful today is to stay ahead of these Virginia Tech hitters.
Our home plate umpire today is Robert Capuno. Lou Chalemi at first base, Maggie Christensen at third.
Again, we see Rush staying outside to the left-handed batters. Rush just pitched in one of the 2 games yesterday.
And was not that successful. Went 5 innings, gave up 7 runs and 7 hits. And walks. McGoldrick, she didn't strike out anybody, had 3 walks yesterday. So McGoldrick is aboard with a walk.
Number 12, Courtney Little.
And that'll bring up the lady we talked about at the beginning of our broadcast, Courtney Little, 5'10" senior out of Haymarket, Virginia. Number 1 all-time in on-base percentage in Virginia Tech history, and that's saying something.
Well, Coach Thomas says she's the most feared hitter, and because of that, she has an on-base percentage because not a lot of people want to pitch to Little, and she's earned her fair share of walks throughout her career as well as her base hits.
She's also number 1 all-time in getting hit by a pitch.
Two-time first-team All-ACC, Courtney Little, one of the best players in the league. And there you see McGoldrick on at first. Count even, 1-1. That is a freshman catcher for Georgia Tech, Courtney Zizi. We've talked about a lot of freshmen and how young this team is, and Zizi taking over the catcher spot this year. It's not easy to do as a freshman.
It's not, and then to have the responsibility of a senior who has a lot of experience under her belt. But Zizi, I think, has really earned the respect of Coach Perkins. She's done a nice job not only defensively, but she's coming on offensively too.
Checking the dugout for the sign to call the pitch. 2 balls and a strike to Courtney Little.
So we'll see Rush. She throws a lot of drop balls. She also has a curveball, which we saw right there. When she throws her drop ball to the right-handed batters, we'll see her keep that almost tight enough for when they swing, they'll pull it foul. But really her go-to pitch to those righties is down and away.
Counts 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's fouled out of play. Little is on a 4-game hitting streak. Yesterday in game 1, she was 1 for 3, and in game 2, 1 for 2. And again, Virginia Tech successful in both games yesterday, the doubleheader.
It's a nice job. They needed to get back on track. They had such a nice preseason, and they were a little shaky when they started the ACC, so I think they probably feel good about those 2 wins.
Runner does move down to second.
Although talking to Coach Thomas before the game today, typical coach, he got 2 nice wins yesterday. I said, how you feel good about that?
Yeah.
You know, didn't get too high, didn't get too low. He just knows that today's an important game as well.
Well, last weekend they did lose their series at North Carolina. Lost 2 of 3. 2 weeks ago, lost their series at NC State. Scott's still not happy about that. Logan Spall is the batter.
We see Rush starting off with her off speed. That's something she's really going to have to establish today to keep Virginia Tech off balance. They really got into a groove yesterday. They had an explosive day at the plate.
Logan Spall on the year, 221, no homers, 13 RBIs. Sophomore out of Blue Springs, Missouri. And takes strike 2, 0-2. 2 outs here in the inning, but McGoldrick down at second base. Tried to get her to chase, she wouldn't do it, 1-2.
Good discipline by Spa, knowing the strike zone.
Spa also had a pretty decent day yesterday, 1 for 3 in game 1, 1 for 2 in the second game. There you see McGoldrick down at second base. That's lifted high in the air and caught by the center fielder, Haley Downs, for the 3rd out of the inning.
It's time for Farm Bureau Name That Year. Today's contestant is Cody Short. Cody will receive 3 clues on the video board. He can guess the answer.
You can't keep greatness in a box, so we won't. The ACC mobile app, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Imagine seeing this on this. That's greatness. For the ACC schools you live for, it's the app you can't live without. Available on your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Nokia Lumia Windows Phone. The ACC mobile app. Live games, video, scores, stats, news, and greatness. Search ACC Sports on your mobile device. The ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
ACC softball on the digital network on the ACCDN, and we're heading now to the second inning. Virginia Tech defensively has Amanda Ake in left, Lauren Gaskell in center, Kat Banks in right. In the infield, Danny Anderson at third, B.K. Smith at short, Kylie McGoldrick at second, Courtney Little at first, Betty Rose behind the plate. And Jasmine Harrell, who also pitched yesterday,
Number 3, Katie Johnson.
senior out of Irvine, California. And it's Katie Johnsky who will lead off. Johnsky, the right fielder. Johnsky, as you can see, out of Sarasota, Florida. And the play is made in right field by Kat Banks for one out.
Good aggressive swing by Johnsky. She just missed that ball as she lofted it out to Banks in right field.
Now the freshman catcher we were talking about a moment ago, Courtney Zizi, out of Canyon Country, California. On that hitter. Zizi hit by a pitch.
We see Harrell just starting off with her pitches inside.
Now batting, number 34.
That pitch just gets away from her just a little bit.
Fourth time that Zizi's been hit by a pitch this year. That'll bring up Caitlin Coffey, the first baseman.
So Coach Perkins is known to be an excellent hitting coach, and one thing we can see is that the Georgia Tech hitters are making adjustments. And what we see, if we could take a look at their feet when they step into the box, they're both sides of the plate. Left-handed batters and right-handed batters are crowding the plate. So they're taking away that drop ball on the inside or outside corner. So they're really daring her to throw inside, but they're trying not to let her beat her on the outside corner.
Caitlin Coffey's a sophomore out of Tallahassee. This is just her 12th start of the season today. She's only hitting .103. Does have a home run on the year. Ground ball, the third baseman, Danny Anderson, making a nice play.
Nice job by Harrell, seeing how close the batters are standing to the plate and not backing off, still going on the inside corner and able to jam them and not let them get extended for power.
Two down. Zizi on at first after getting hit by the pitch. This is Chelsea Thomas, the second baseman.
I like this about Harrell, that even though they're crowding the plate, she's still throwing the ball to the inside part of the plate. It's a grudge match.
Thomas trying to get on by a bunt, and that'll roll foul down the first base line. Chelsea Thomas just hitting .209, does not have a home run this year. She did have a hit yesterday, and that came in the second game. Again, trying to lay down that bunt. It's a good one. No play anywhere. So Thomas with a base hit, a bunt single.
So Thomas showing bunt her last pitch and comes right back with it, and you can see she catches it right off the end of the bat, which lets her put a nice touch on the ball.
And their runners now at first and third as Zizi is down at third base. Chelsea Thomas on, and the number 9 hitter in the order, Haley Downs, the batter, the center fielder. Stolen base for Thomas. Now runners at second and third.
We see McGoldrick come across and cut that ball off. case the runner on third broke for home. So Georgia Tech's got 2 runners in scoring position for downs.
Pitch low and away. Downs, a junior from Grayson, Georgia, is hitting .351 on the year. Got 8 RBIs and a chance to pick up a couple more right now.
Well, this is an important out for Harrell because after Downs, we go to the top of the order with the two batting averages that are leading the team.
Fouled back and out of play. As Jasmine Harrell trying to bear down now and get out of this inning.
Downs is a slap hitter. She doesn't really touch slap. She more tries to poke it through a hole, more of a punch slapper, power slapper. And her job right here is just to put the ball in play. Try to make something happen.
That pitch upstairs evens the count. Nice effort by the left fielder, Amanda Ake.
And with that lefty hitting the ball, whenever a left-hander hits a fly ball like that, the ball's always tailing away from the outfielders. You almost have to overcompensate. So the ball broke away from Ake as she tried to run that ball down.
There's a play to the second baseman, gets by her. Got by McGoldrick, and Zizi comes around to score the first run of the game.
Number 5, Ashley Thomas.
So it's so important that slappers use the ground, and with 2 outs and 2 runners on, that's exactly what Down did. And the ball got away from McGoldrick, and she's able to push a run across.
Top of the order now, Ashley Thomas. And Downs makes it safely down to second base.
So Georgia Tech staying aggressive on the bases. 2 stolen bases this inning, and it adds to their count total for the year.
Thomas struck out her first time up. We told you what a year she's having. Ground ball there, went off the glove of the pitcher. Got him at first base. Nice play by the Hokie third baseman, Danny Anderson, to get out of the inning. Georgia Tech strands a couple, but they do get a run home, and the Yellow Jackets, trying to salvage something out of this series, have taken a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second.
The ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games, and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Out with the old and in with the delicious. Commit to bold taste with the new Flavor Resolutions menu at Ruby Tuesday. 10 entrees starting at $9.99. Try our savory barbecue brushed ribs and bacon wrapped shrimp. Or take it up a notch by adding coconut crusted shrimp to our mango salsa topped Caribbean chicken. Plus, enjoy our endless garden bar, free with any chef inspired entree. Ruby Tuesday. It's all good here. Start the new year with savings. Visit rubytuesday.com today for a $5 coupon.
Well, we head now to the bottom of the second, and Virginia Tech will try to answer as Georgia Tech put 1 on the board and really had an opportunity to get more.
They had 2 runners in scoring position with Chelsea Thomas was coming up with Ashley Thomas coming up with 2 outs right there, and she hit it hard. But Anderson came away and made a nice play at third to get her.
Kat Banks to lead things off for Virginia Tech, the 5'10 junior out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. Very versatile player, can play really anywhere. Right field today. Fouls that one back out of play. Banks hitting .281. It's got a home run, 15 RBIs on the year.
Kat Banks is one of those players that has just got better and better throughout her career. And as a coach, that's all you can hope for from your players, is you just see someone progress year after year.
One of the big moments in her career came last year in the ACC tournament. I remember that. He hit a grand slam home run.
Bottom of the 6th inning, 2
Oh, it's
outs.
huge. What an exciting, I think something she'll remember the rest of her life.
Oh, yeah.
Banks, though, yesterday was 0 for 6. She was 0 for 4 in the first game, 0 for 2 in the second. So looking for her first hit in the series.
And heading into yesterday, she was batting over 600, so we look for her to get back on track.
She had some great games last weekend in the North Carolina series. Was 3 for 4 in game 2 last weekend against the Tar Heels.
You'll see that a lot for juniors and seniors as they come through their career and they're playing conference. Nothing's new to them anymore. They get that experience under their belt and they're like, I've done this before, I've been here before. And they just have a calm confidence.
Counts 2 balls, 2 strikes as she fouls it back out of play. 3 other ACC series going on this weekend. Florida State's been looking good against Boston College. They won a doubleheader there yesterday.
The ACC is really looking well as a whole.
That's hit to the shortstop. Ashley Thomas makes a nice play.
At bat, number 00,
So good job by Hope Rush the first 2 innings, getting the leadoff batter out. If she can continue to do that all game, she puts herself in a good position to be successful.
Amanda Ake is the batter. What an addition she's been to the Virginia Tech lineup this year. Transfer from Tallahassee Community College. Was a junior college All-American. And the left fielder for the Hokies today is hitting .273. 3 home runs and 18 RBIs. And did she evermore have a day yesterday? My goodness. Had a double and a home run.
Well, when you come from being successful as she was in the junior college ranks, and then you come to Division I, it is a different level. You do see better pitching all the time, not just every once in a while. And she's about halfway through her season now, and I think she's starting to understand, okay, this, she knows what to expect, and we saw her really bust out yesterday.
She's got a hit in 6 of her last 7 games, so you're right. She's starting to figure it out. She was 3 for 5 in the 2 games yesterday. Hit that one right on the fist. And again, Thomas makes a nice play, 2 down.
Again, we see Rush just throwing the ball in on the hands of the Virginia Tech batters. So one thing we're going to have to look for when they come around the second time is to see what type of adjustment that they make.
Batter now is Danny Anderson, the third baseman. And strike 1. Danny Anderson is a 5A junior out of Rio Linda, California. Not had a great year at the plate, only hitting .179, no homers, 10 RBIs. That hit on her fist, ground ball to the left side. She's one of 3 players from California who have found their way here to Blacksburg.
Those California girls, I hate to say it, I'm partial to that being a California girl. They really, when you can get a California girl to come all the way to the East Coast, you have something to offer in your program. So I think that says a lot.
Part of that is Scott Thomas, the head coach, who's done a great job. There's Scott in his 19th season. He's the only coach they've ever had here at Virginia Tech. And the cool thing about Scott Thomas is he is a native of Blacksburg, Virginia. Grew up here and is now coaching the Hokies.
It has to be exciting, and he's done so well. He has 5 NCAA appearances. He's coached Angela Tincher, who was the National Player of the Year.
Well, I tell you what a thrill it was for me personally to be able to call one of her games. I will tell you, she's the best pitcher I've ever seen, certainly in the recent years in the ACC.
Well, and she was the only pitcher that the 2008 Olympic team faced. Angela Tincher took the win and handed them a defeat.
Well, there's her retired #1, as well it should be.
And she's the only Hokie to have her jersey retired.
And again, it's fouled off by Anderson. Anderson's had a pretty good career here in Blacksburg. She was second team All-ACC a couple of years ago as a freshman. But as we said, somehow this year has just had a lot of tough luck. I talked to Scott Thomas. He said nobody's had harder luck than she has. She's hit it well at times, but hit it to a lot of people.
Well, Virginia Tech, if all goes well and they get back on track as they did yesterday, they appear to be heading back to the postseason. And what's important for a hitter like Anderson is just to have good at-bats and hopefully make a difference when it comes time for the crucial part of the season.
Ball 4, and I think that hit her on the elbow. Well, would have been ball 4 anyway, and hit by a pitch. And you talk about struggling. Betty Rose, the catcher, has just not been able to come up with some offense this year. She's great behind the plate, but Betty Rose is the hitter now. Senior out of South Boston, Virginia. Been the starting catcher for 3 years. Only hitting 104. She's 7 for 67 on the season.
And again, if she could just get on track and do little things, move runners, you know, find a way to get on base, draw a walk every now and then, have good at bats, make good contact. Things like that will build her confidence when it comes down to the end of the season.
You know, Barbara, she's capable. A couple of years ago as a sophomore, she had 12 home runs in the season, so she does have some power.
And it's important as a batter to look back at the times when you have been successful. Sometimes that brings you right back to where you need to be.
It's been 9 games since Betty Rose has had a hit. Betty did graduate last May, working on her master's degree in public health. That's hit to the left side of the third baseman, Rudnick, and that'll do it. Virginia Tech strands a runner, nothing doing here in the bottom of the second. We've played 2 in Blacksburg, and Georgia Tech has a 1-0 lead.
Out with the old and in with the delicious.
Commit to bold taste with the new Flavor Resolutions menu at Ruby Tuesday. 10 entrees starting at $9.99. Try our savory barbecue brushed ribs and bacon wrapped shrimp. Or take it up a notch by adding coconut crusted shrimp to our mango salsa topped Caribbean chicken. Plus, enjoy our endless garden bar, free with any chef inspired entree. Ruby Tuesday. It's all good here. Start the new year with savings. Visit RubyTuesday.com today for a $5 coupon.
What's better, bigger or smaller?
Bigger!
So which would you rather have, a big treehouse or a small treehouse?
If it's big enough, you can have a disco. Oh, yeah.
Why do you not want a smaller treehouse?
Because it wouldn't be able to fit a flat screen TV, and then the TV would be about this big, and you would have to hold the wire. In the position you would hold the wire, you wouldn't be able to see the TV.
That's a pain in the buns.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
Welcome back to Blacksburg and ACC softball on the ACC Digital Network. Look forward to bringing you a lot more of these events. ACC Digital Network brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. Georgia Tech will have Rudnick, Rush, and Taylor due up here in the third inning. Rudnick, who struck out her first time up, and you see Coach Sharon Perkins there. She's in her 7th season. Coach of the Year a couple of years ago in the ACC. She's had a great run at Georgia Tech.
She's been a success ever since she's gotten there. She's taken the team to the postseason every year. She's had 3 ACC Player of the Years and 1 ACC Player of the Year in just her 6 seasons.
And there's Sharon Perkins. I might mention also, we haven't mentioned this, that Georgia Tech won that ACC championship last year. Who did they beat in the championship game? Virginia Tech. Count a ball and a strike now to Alicia Rudnick.
I'm sorry, I think I misquoted myself. I wanted to say that Coach Perkins had 3 ACC Players of the Year and 1 ACC Rookie of the Year. So great accolades for her in her first 6 seasons.
Indeed impressive. 2-1, Harrell trying to get her 2nd win of the weekend. Count full now to Alicia Rudnick, the junior from Lawrenceville, Georgia. What did she have a weekend last weekend against NC State? She was 8 for 10 in that series.
Well, in talking to Coach Perkins, they lost Kelsey Wiesman, who was the ACC Player of the Year last year, and Rudnick has been one of the players that has really stepped it up. And Coach Perkins was kind of surprised. She didn't know that the team would miss Wiesman as much as they have, but she says that Rudnick has become the team leader, not only playing-wise, but also vocally.
And now via a walk on at first. That's the 2nd walk of the game issued by Jasmine Harrell, who has struck out 3, and all 3 of those strikeouts came in the first inning. Here's Hope Rush, and she is capable of getting it out of the ballpark. Rush with 12 home runs on the season.
She leads the team in RBIs, and RBIs is one of those 11 where she's in the record books. A nice career she's had here for Georgia Tech.
41 RBIs, that's almost double the number of the next closest. Fouled back and out of play.
And one of the reasons that Rush is able to get those RBIs is because of what Thomas and Rudnick hitting before her have done. They have on-base percentages of over 600, so they're getting on base and allowing her those RBI opportunities.
Again, popped up and out of play. Hope Rush walked her first time up. She was the MVP of the ACC championships last year that, again, were won by Georgia Tech. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hey, what? The wind in our booth is really something. Doesn't look like it's that strong down on the field, though.
No, and anybody hitting deep to right, it's going to be hard to hit that ball out with these winds coming in as they are.
Count 2-2. Rush got a hold of that last one, just pulled it foul.
It's so windy, I could feel the wind coming through the window. I mean, my papers are fluttering. It's so windy out here.
You're right. That's hit to left, and that is out of here. Home run. 13th home run of the year for Hope Rush. A 2-run shot.
So Harrell's been working the inside corner, and someone who has the power of Hope Rush, you've got to keep that ball tight. And this inside pitch right here just doesn't get tight enough, and Hope just unleashes on it and hits a line drive out of the stadium. Great job by Hope Rush.
That'll bring up Morgan Taylor. The freshman struck out her first time up. 3-0 now. Georgia Tech has taken the lead.
Mike, I'm not surprised. One of the things we talked about, Coach Perkins is such a great offensive hitting coach. And one of the things she does so well is she prepares her hitters. So even though they took the 2 losses yesterday, she took her team back to the hotel, they watched video. Before they were ready to come to the field today, they watched video. So her hitters come into the game and they have a game plan, and they have 3 runs in 3 innings, and it looks to me like this game plan could be successful.
First out of the inning as Betty Rose made a nice play. Here's Katie Johnsky, the Georgia Tech right fielder. She flew out to right her first time up. Georgia Tech has lost 4 games in a row, but before that, they won 4 in a row. It's kind of been their mantra this year. They've just been very inconsistent.
And they've been overcoming a lot of injuries. Some clutch players have had, or some starters have had injuries. Hope Rush didn't even play this past Wednesday because they're trying to keep her ready for the ACC on the weekend. So it's just something. They only have 15 players on their roster, so they really, when you're not healthy, it really takes a toll.
And you brought up Wednesday, of course, the Georgia Bulldogs are the arch rival of Georgia Tech. And the Yellow Jackets lost that game 20-1 in 5 innings. Ouch. Taylor, a base hit for Morgan Taylor. Or rather, that is Johnsky, excuse me. Johnsky with the base hit. And that'll bring up the catcher, Courtney Zizi. So Johnsky is on at first. Courtney Zizi hit by a pitch and has scored one of the 3 Georgia Tech runs today. Jasmine Harrell seems to be struggling a little bit.
She came out to a good start, struck out the side in the first inning, but the Georgia Tech batters have made an adjustment, and Harrell is struggling here in the 3rd. The games yesterday were supposed to start at 1 o'clock, but because of the weather that they had this week, snow was on the ground, 5 inches on Wednesday. They delayed the start of the games till yesterday afternoon. They started at 4 and 6:30. So that's tough, playing a doubleheader late and then coming back for an early game on Sunday.
Danny Anderson made the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. Now the batter is Caitlin Coffey, who grounded out to 3rd her first time up. Johnsky, not much of a threat to steal down at first, does not have a stolen base on the season. She's 0 for 1. Ground ball, it goes off of the glove of Harrell, but picked up nicely by McGoldrick to get the 3rd out of the inning. A Strander runner, but they do get 2 across on the home run from Hope Rush. And Georgia Tech has now taken a 3-0 lead over Virginia Tech thanks to that bomb by Hope Rush.
ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
What's better, bigger or smaller?
Bigger!
So which would you rather have, a big tree house or a small tree house?
If it's big enough, you can have a disco. Oh, yeah.
Why do you not want a smaller tree house?
Because it wouldn't be able to fit a flat screen TV, and then the TV would be about this big, and you would have to hold the wire. In the position you would hold the wire, you wouldn't be able to see the TV.
That's a pain in the buns.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
There's Lane Stadium, which is just across the street from the softball stadium, and I'll tell you what, there is nothing like a Virginia Tech football game when they play Inner Sandman and you've got 90,000 people jumping up and down and the team running in. One of the real thrilling moments in all of college athletics.
I got to put my name out for an invite. I've never been
we'll
to a
invite
Hokie
you
football
to a game.
game.
Yeah, was here for a couple of games last year. Virginia Tech this is now the number 9 hitter batting for the first time. This is the shortstop, BK Smith.
BK does such a nice job in the 9-hole. She's a great table setter.
And that's hit to the Georgia Tech shortstop, Ashley Thomas. One down.
So far, Hope Rush is being successful. She's keeping the ball really on one side of the plate, inside to the right-handed batters and outside to the left-handed batters. And as they come around for their second time through the lineup, let's see if these Hokies make an adjustment.
She's not allowed a hit yet.
Oh, I cannot believe you said that out loud.
Sorry.
The curse.
Well, top of the order, Lauren Gaskill is up for the Hokies. She's only allowed 2 over the minimum as Hope Rush. Oh, it's only the 3rd inning. The curse only happens, you get past the 5th.
Announcers are allowed to say it. Just
Announcers
people on the ball field aren't
right,
allowed to say
right.
it.
And you're a player, so I understand that. But I will say this, Hope Rush has pitched to Jim so far, no doubt about it. Gaskill had a big blast yesterday, had a 3-run home run in the first game.
She needed that. She's lacked a little consistency as of late, and that was a nice job of her coming up and displaying some of her power.
Yeah, that hit yesterday was only the 3rd time she's gotten a hit in the last 12 games. You're right, she's been slumping a little bit. 1-2 gets it down and in play, but Ashley Thomas comes up with it. Ashley Thomas, pretty good shortstop for Georgia Tech.
Ashley Thomas is getting it done offensively and defensively for Georgia Tech. They lead the conference in double plays. Thomas sisters up the middle at second and short.
Yeah, Chelsea Thomas at second, Ashley Thomas at shortstop. Now Kylie McGoldrick walked her first time up. One of just 2 base runners today for Virginia Tech. Swings at the 0-1, and that is in for a base hit in left center field. Rolls all the way to the fence. And McGoldrick in at second base with a double.
Nice piece of hitting by McGoldrick. Talk about making adjustments. She takes that outside pitch and drives it to left center. She's not going to be fooled twice by the same pitch.
Now in scoring position with the senior leader on the team, Courtney Little, due up.
And let's see if Rush pitches around Little or if she goes right at her.
First hit of the day for Virginia Tech, and it comes with 2 outs.
Again, we see Rush throw the drop ball in, and that pitch is probably a good 3-4 inches too far inside, and she gets ahead of the batters by throwing it there, because if they swing, they're simply going to pull it foul, as Little did right there. So I don't think Rush is pitching around Little. She's going right at her here.
And gets ahead 0-2.
Senior versus senior, they've seen each other now for quite some time.
Hope Rush really seems, though, to be on her game today. Doesn't chase that one down low. It's 1-2. We're talking about sisters. Courtney Little also has a sister who plays, Bailey Little, who is on this Virginia Tech team.
Just a sophomore is Bailey, so the family will be around for years to come.
Pulls it foul. The count will remain a ball and 2 strikes. There are 2 outs.
Little had an exciting week. She was one of 20 seniors that were drafted into the National Pro Fast Pitch League this week. She was drafted by the New York, New Jersey Comets, so that was exciting news coming her senior year.
Really is. I got the chance to see some of that level of play last year. Boy, can they play. Everybody's good.
They're the best of the best.
Hope the folks in New York, New Jersey area really get behind that team.
Well, it's a great area to market.
And again, Little doing a good job staying alive here.
And Rush is sticking to her game plan. Every time she goes to the inside corner, she's keeping it tight enough to, if Little goes after it, she's just pulling it foul. So we have a grudge match here.
And you see McGoldrick standing at second base. Evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. Deuces everywhere. That's hit high in the air, and it may get out of play. It does.
Tough ball for Coffey with this wind as she went down the right field line.
Caitlin Coffey, the first baseman, chasing it. Katie Johnsky, the right fielder, coming in. And Coffey has not been full-time at first base. As we said, this is just her 12th start of the year. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Hope Rush wins that battle. Nothing doing for Virginia Tech. They get a double, but the runner is stranded at second base. We've played 3, and Georgia Tech's on top, 3-0.
What's better?
Bigger or smaller? Bigger! So which would you rather have, a big tree house or a small tree house?
If it's big enough, she can have a disco. Oh, yeah.
Why do you not want a smaller tree house?
Because it wouldn't be able to fit a flat screen TV, and then the TV would be about this big, and you would have to hold the wire. In the position you would hold the wire, you wouldn't be able to see the TV.
That's a pain in the buns.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and ACC has the nation's largest 4G network.
You can't keep greatness in a box, so we won't. The ACC mobile app, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Imagine seeing this on this. That's greatness. For the ACC schools you live for, it's the app you can't live without. Available on your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Nokia Lumia Windows phone. The ACC mobile app, Live games, video, scores, stats, news, and greatness. Search ACC Sports on your mobile device.
We move to the fourth inning here in Blacksburg, and so far it has been all Georgia Tech. They've come up with a run in the second, 2 in the third, and here in the fourth, it'll be the bottom 2 in the order. Chelsea Thomas will be leading things off. Thomas had a bunt hit her first time up.
Leading off, number 11, Chelsea Thomas.
And she also stole second base.
Georgia Tech is only 2 runs away from their magical mark of 5 runs. When they score 5 or more runs, they're 15-2 this year. So really, you know, they may not have the depth in their pitching staff, but if they could put some runs up offensively, the numbers show that they've been successful.
Chelsea Thomas is out of Flowery Branch, Georgia. Known as the home of the Atlanta Falcons is where their training facility is. They also have a really good high school there, Buford High School, and Chelsea Thomas led Buford High School to 4 straight state championships in Georgia. And you know, you mentioned it before, but that really is a good double play combination, one of the best in the country. Ashley Thomas, Chelsea Thomas. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Georgia Tech second baseman. Slap hit, and that is a nice play by the Virginia Tech shortstop, B.K. Smith. We've talked about good defensive shortstops. Scott Thomas says he thinks B.K. Smith's the best defensive shortstop in the country.
Well, that's a big statement right there, but let me tell you, B.K. was up, taking away that hole from the slap hitter, and came up and took that line drive right out of the sky, just plucked it right out. It's a nice play.
The number 9 hitter, here's Haley Downs. Downs puts the first pitch in play, and B.K. Smith makes another nice play.
B.K.'s making you look good.
Well, I mentioned her to Scott Thomas that he could not stop talking about what a great defensive player she is and what a valuable part of this team B.K. is.
Well, she leads the defense, and their defense alone has a .970 fielding percentage, which is exceptional.
Top of the order now, here is Ashley Thomas. Harrell and safe at first. Ball was not hit very hard, and Harrell could not make the play.
Thomas lays down a bunt in front of the plate, just hustles down the line. Corners were caught back a little bit. Nothing Harrell could do. She did her best to get it there, but just not in time.
And Ashley Thomas, a threat to steal a base anytime she's on. 20 of 28 stolen bases on the year. Alicia Rudnick's the batter, and you see Betty Rose is up quickly.
Well, everybody knows Betty Rose is great behind the plate. Last year, she threw out 16 runners, really made a name for herself.
But Ashley Thomas has all kinds of speed. She is really fast.
Coach Perkins knows that everybody knows that Thomas is going to run, and she sends her anyways.
Count a ball and a strike to Rudnick. Rudnick reaches down and play to first, got her. Nice play by Danny Anderson. And Georgia Tech strands a runner, nothing doing here in the top of the fourth. But if we head to the bottom of the inning, Georgia Tech leads Virginia Tech 3-0.
You can't keep greatness in a box, so we won't. The ACC mobile app, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Imagine seeing this on this. That's greatness. For the ACC schools you live for, it's the app you can't live without. Available on your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Nokia Lumia Windows phone. The ACC mobile app. Live games, video, scores, stats, news, and greatness. Search ACC Sports on your mobile device. The ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games, and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
We move now to the bottom of the fourth inning here in Blacksburg. Only one hit for Virginia Tech today. As a matter of fact, Hope Rush, the pitcher for Georgia Tech, has only faced one over the minimum in each of the first 3 innings. And Logan Spall, the cleanup hitter for the Hokies, will be leading things off. She flew out to center field her first time up. First pitch misses, ball 1. Spall, just a sophomore, has been a clutch hitter in her 2 years in Blacksburg. Always seems to put the ball in play when the Hokies have runners on. Not having the year this year she did a year ago. As you saw, hitting .221. There's a strike from Hope Rush, evens the count, a ball and a strike. She really came on late last season to earn that DP spot on this Virginia Tech team. That's fouled out of play. Count now a ball and 2 strikes to Spall. Boy, did she have a thrill when they played an exhibition against the Dutch national team. Had a walk-off hit to beat that team. Two for 5 in the 2 games yesterday.
Well, she's in a great spot because, and it says a lot that she's batting behind Little. And a lot of people pitch around Little and think they're going to get by the Virginia Tech offense, but they don't with Spall hitting behind her.
Virginia Tech has not been able to get their leadoff hitter on in any inning in this game. That was not the story yesterday in the doubleheader, which the Hokies won both of. I mentioned this has been a hot team in midweek. They won a doubleheader against UNC Greensboro, 8-1 and 10-9.
That's one thing about the Virginia Tech offense is they really manufacture runs. They scored 18 runs on that midweek series and not one home run was hit during that game. So it really says a lot about their offense.
Count's full now, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Reaches down for it, pops it up. And the Georgia Tech right fielder, Katie Johnsky, makes the play, 1 down.
Nice job by Johnsky, really hustling in on that, because anything hit high can really blow back into the infield, which was almost the case. So Rush does it again and gets the leadoff batter for the 4th time this game.
Now the batter's Kate Banks, who grounded out to shortstop her first time up. Banks, the only player on the roster from Tennessee. She's from Hendersonville, Tennessee, in the Nashville area.
You talked about her hitting that memorable grand slam last year in the ACC championships. And one of the YouTubes that I saw after that was not only Kat Banks grand slam, but it was her family watching it.
Oh, yeah?
And they showed the family's reaction in the living rooms, you know, being like, oh my gosh, and somebody videotaped the family watching the grand slam, and that was exciting to see. So I think they'll all remember that moment.
She's followed that up with a pretty good year. Easy play there. And they're 2 down. Hope Rush continues to cruise.
She's doing a nice job. She's keeping the Hokies off balance. Got to give some credit to her pitching coach, Lisa Norris, who's in her first year at Georgia Tech.
This is Amanda Ake hitting with 2 down, the left fielder. So we mentioned a great junior college career, trying to lay down the bunt. Rush fields and makes the play. 3 up, 3 down, nothing doing for the Hokies here in the bottom of the 4th inning. We've played through 4, and it's been all Georgia Tech so far. The Yellow Jackets leading the Hokies 3-0.
Want to know when the next promotional giveaway or post-game?
Can't keep greatness in a box, so we won't. The ACC mobile app, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Imagine seeing this on this. That's greatness. For the ACC schools you live for, it's the app you can't live without. Available on your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Nokia Lumia Windows phone. The ACC mobile app. Live games, video, scores, stats, news, and greatness. Search ACC Sports on your mobile device. The ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games, and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Georgia Tech scored 1 in the second, 2 in the third to take a 3-0 lead. Live games, highlights, must-see moments, authentic analysis, and live shows. You're watching the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. And glad to be able to bring you this softball game today. Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech won 2 games yesterday in the doubleheader, and here in the final game of the series, Georgia Tech has come to life. And Hope Rush, who has done such a great job pitching today, will lead things off. She had a 2-run home run in the third. Her 13th home run of the season. Morrell's going to be pretty careful to her. Falls behind, 2-0. Fouls that one out of play, 2-1.
With that home run that Hope Rush hit, she's only 10 RBIs behind Savannah Brown, who's 3rd all-time in Georgia Tech history for RBIs. See if Hope Rush can move up on the charts in the RBI category.
He's got 43 now on the season.
I'll bet my money that Rush can do it. I think she's got 10 more RBIs in her this year.
I'm not taking the bet because I think she'll do it. I agree. Outside counts full, 3-2. Rush this year has walked 25 times and struck out 24. That's lifted high in the air to left field. Is that out of here? Yes! Another home run for Hope Rush. Her 2nd of the day, and it is 4-0. Oh, that's power. 14 on the year.
Great piece of hitting by Hope Rush. Harrell went down and in last time. This time she tries to come up and in, and this ball does not rise. And Hope Rush, with one swing of the bat, she knows she got all of it and launches it out. And by the look on her face, she doesn't even remember those 2 losses yesterday. She's so into today and what's going so well for Georgia Tech.
Morgan Taylor, the batter, she's 0 for 2. Takes a strike from Harrell.
What I like about Georgia Tech, Mike, is what we talked about, just that they're making adjustments. And that's what being a team is all about, and that's what being a good hitter is all about, is some days you're not going to have it, but what can you adjust to that will make you more successful the next time around? And we're seeing that here today.
Interesting that Morgan Taylor, the freshman, hitting .252 coming into the game, is hitting in the cleanup spot behind Hope Rush. Harrell delivering a strike.
This is good experience for Taylor to hit behind somebody like Hope Rush, because a lot of people pitch around her. So she sees a lot of good pitches, and she knows that she should be aggressive early in the count, as we've seen in some of her previous at-bats.
Well, Jasmine Harrell has gone all the way here for Virginia Tech. Kelly Hines is expected to pitch today when we talked to Scott Thomas earlier.
Well, he talked about possibly splitting the game.
At bat, number 3.
I think they checked the count right there.
And that's lifted to the shortstop, Kyle McGoldrick.
At bat, number 27, Courtney Zizi.
That was Johnsky who popped it up. So they're now 2 down after Taylor strikes out and Johnsky pops up to second base. Courtney Zizi, another freshman, at the plate for Georgia Tech. Zizi scored the first run of the day for Georgia Tech. That was in the second inning. Zizi had a home run yesterday. She's got 5 homers on the year, so there is some power on this Georgia Tech team.
And one of the reasons for Zizi's success is that she has quality at bats. She swings at good pitches, she knows the strike zone, so she may not always get the outcome she wants, but she's having quality at bats. And here's one right here.
How about that? Another home run. Second home run of the inning, third of the game for Georgia Tech. And put another one on the board for the Yellow Jackets.
Nice job by Zizi. Talked about her having good at bats, swinging at good pitches, and this is just a prime example. And again, Harrell doesn't get this ball inside enough, and Zizi's all over it and sends it out of the park with a nice aggressive swing.
6th home run of the year for Courtney Zizi, and we're going to get a new pitcher. It will be Kelly Hines, who we're just talking about a moment ago, a freshman.
Now pitching for the Hokies.
Hines has had a great freshman year. She's not even at full strength yet. Her senior year in high school, she had surgery on her ulnar nerve, and so she's not even at full strength, but she's got some nice accolades under her belt.
Well, this Virginia Tech team has 23 wins this year. Harrell, who's leaving the game, has 10 of them. Kelly Hines, though, has 11. She's 11-3 on the year, 2.48 ERA. She's pitched 96 innings, walked 30, and struck out 105. That's a pretty good ratio right there.
She's got key wins against the University of Arizona and UCLA. Not bad to have during just your freshman season.
You know, and that brings up that West Coast trip that they took a few weeks ago, and they beat UCLA, Arizona, and Michigan all on their spring break trip. Impressive.
And that's one of the reasons their RPIs, where they're at 27 for RPIs. But you go to the West Coast, and I really think that the talent is everywhere across the country. It's in the East, it's in the South, it's on the West Coast. So Virginia Tech was successful, but they'd only stayed on this side of the country. But when they went out west and they were successful in those 2 tournaments they played at, I really think that said a lot about this team.
2 home runs in the inning. There are 2 out. Here is Caitlin Coffey, the first baseman. She's 0 for 2 today. She's grounded out to third and grounded out to second.
So Hines is a little bit of a different look than Harrell. Harrell throws drops, and Hines has a rise and a curve. And she's also developing a drop as well, but look for her to throw up and her to throw to the outside part of the plate. And she throws hard.
That one high and away, and we'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Caitlin Coffey. And the wind continues to blow here on the field here at Virginia Tech Softball Park. You know, they said the temperature was going to be in the 60s today. I don't think it got there. At least here in the booth it didn't, that's for sure. And that's strike 3. So Hines comes in and gets a strikeout, but 2 runs. Both of them on home runs. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Put 2 more on the board for Georgia Tech. It's 5-0.
2 runs on 2 hits with no errors and no.
The Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games, and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Out with the old and in with the delicious. Commit to bold taste with the new flavor resolutions menu at Ruby Tuesday. 10 entrees starting at $9.99. Try our savory barbecue brushed ribs and bacon wrapped shrimp. Or take it up a notch by adding coconut crusted shrimp to our mango salsa topped Caribbean chicken. Plus, enjoy our endless garden bar, free with any chef inspired entree. Ruby Tuesday. It's all good here. Start the new year with savings. Visit rubytuesday.com today for a $5 coupon.
On a windy day in Blacksburg, and so far not a good day for the home team after winning 2 yesterday. They're getting shut out here on a really great pitching performance by Hope Rush. It'll be the bottom 3rd of the order. Due up for Virginia Tech, Danny Anderson, Betty Rose, and B.K. Smith. And Anderson swings at the first pitch. Just foul. Anderson was hit by a pitch. And again, Hope Rush faced a minimum in the last inning. She's only faced 3 over the minimum today. And that gets through for a base hit. Leadoff hit for Danny Anderson. 2nd hit of the day for Virginia Tech.
It's the first time today that a Virginia Tech leadoff batter has reached base. So they are on their 2nd time through the lineup. We'll see what adjustments they can make.
And Bailey Little, the younger sister of Courtney Little, is going to pinch hit here for Betty Rose. We talked about Rose's struggles at the plate. So Bailey Little comes in to pinch hit. Bailey on the year just 1 for 7. Has not had many at-bats at all. Swings at the first pitch. Lifts it high to left field, and Caitlin Cates is there to make the play.
I like her aggressiveness. She just missed that, and she's disappointed because I think she knows she just missed it. It was right down the tube.
It'll bring up the number 9 hitter in the order, BK Smith. Grounded out to shortstop her first time up. Anderson at first base, not really a threat to steal, does not have an attempted stolen base this year. BK, pretty much a slap hitter.
BK could be in the 9 spot where she is, but you could also see BK in a 1 or 2 hole. She's a table setter. She does a nice job in the 9 hole, and when somebody hits so well in the 9 hole, it's hard to move them.
Senior out of Cameron, North Carolina. Reading about her is really interesting. She used to race motocross bikes before devoting her time full-time to softball. Ground ball to the right side. It's going to get through, a base hit. Second hit of the inning. Anderson down to second, and BK Smith.
Well, BK does what you want right here. You're down by 5, and you want to hit the ball on the ground and force the defense to make the play. And here we see her use the ground. And Chelsea Thomas actually backs away from this ball, and the ball eats her up and gets by her.
And that is scored an error. Error on the second baseman, Thomas.
And that could be critical because when you're Georgia Tech with a lead like this, you just want to be able to make the routine plays.
First and second, 1 out. This is the best chance Virginia Tech has had today. And the top of the order, Lauren Gaskell.
And we watch Gaskell when she gets in the box. She's gotten beaten by the outside pitch her last 2 at-bats, and her toes are on that chalk line. And we can see her looking for that outside pitch from Hope Rush.
Downstairs 2-0.
We know that Virginia Tech has it in their offense. They've manufactured so many runs this week in the 4 games they've already played.
Well, they had 18 runs total in the doubleheader against UNC Greensboro in the midweek game. They had 17 runs yesterday in the doubleheader against these Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. You're right, that's a lot of runs. Count 2 balls and a strike to the Virginia Tech center fielder, Lauren Gaskell. And that is lined in for a base hit. Run comes around to score. That is Anderson. And the Hokies are on the board. Base hit and an RBI for Lauren Gaskell.
So Gaskell, her 3rd time up, makes that adjustment. This time she crowds the plate and she's able to hit that line drive to right center. Keep this rally going. Takes that outside pitch, and it's not so outside when you're standing as close to the plate as you can. So that was a really nice adjustment.
Gaskell was in a bad slump coming into this weekend. I think it's safe to say she may have broken out of it. Kylie McGoldrick is the batter. She had a double her last time up out of Stratford, New Jersey. Still just 1 out. Down a ball and a strike to McGoldrick. Down at third is BK Smith, and over at first, Lauren Gaskell. Runners at the corners and 1 out. And another line drive. What a catch! Well, I think she made up for the error. Chelsea Thomas snags that line drive and makes a great play. And the run does cross the plate. The Hokies are on the board. It is 5-1.
One run on 2 hits with one error and 1 left on base. For all the latest.
Out with the old and in with the delicious. Commit to bold taste with the new Flavor Resolutions menu at Ruby Tuesday. 10 entrees starting at $9.99. Try our savory barbecue brushed ribs and bacon wrapped shrimp. Or take it up a notch by adding coconut crusted shrimp to our mango salsa topped Caribbean chicken. Plus, enjoy our endless garden bar, free with any chef-inspired entree. Ruby Tuesday. It's all good here. Start the new year with savings. Visit rubytuesday.com today for a $5 coupon.
What's better, bigger or smaller?
Bigger!
So which would you rather have, a big treehouse or a small treehouse?
If it's big enough, she can have a disco. Oh, yeah.
Why do you not want a smaller treehouse?
Because it wouldn't be able to fit a flat screen TV, and then the TV would be about this big, and you would have to hold the wire. In the position you would hold the wire, you wouldn't be able to see the TV.
That's a pain in the buns.
Yep.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
Back here in Blacksburg, and you can see some of those folks here trying to head where the sun is. Because when you get out of the sun, it's chilly here. It'll be the bottom 2 in the order. Chelsea Thomas, Haley Downs to lead off, then Ashley Thomas. New catcher for Virginia Tech, Logan Spall, goes behind the plate. So Spall now catching as Betty Rose was pinch hit for. Again, Kelly Hines is on the pitch. She's in relief of Jasmine Harrell. Chelsea Thomas, who made that great play in the field and committed an error in the inning, really made up for it with that great double play. We'll lead things off.
Yeah, that was a huge catch. You had Little coming up after that. Things could have really unraveled. Might have been the play of the day so far.
At bat, number 11, Chelsea Thomas.
And how about Chelsea Thomas at the plate? Getting the base hit, punching it through. And the leadoff batter is aboard for Georgia Tech.
Nice job by Thomas, just finding a hole, not trying to do too much.
At bat, number 1, Haley Downs.
Now Haley Downs, center fielder, reached on an error and grounded out to shortstop. And in head first with a stolen base, Chelsea Thomas.
Coach Perkins still being aggressive, trying to build on that 5-1 lead. See Thomas get a good jump on the pitch, and dives in safely, way ahead of the throw.
Chelsea Thomas now 14 of 16 stolen bases this year. Laying down a really nice bunt. And not a good throw.
Downs lays down a great bunt.
And Thomas did come around to score, so put another run on the board for Georgia Tech.
Downs does some short game right there, has a nice touch on the ball. And when Anderson came in, she was a little late. And the throw tailed up inside the line at first base and got away from Little. So scoring Thomas, and again, Georgia Tech has runners in scoring position.
And the top of the order up in Ashley Thomas.
So we'll see. Downs just does nice touch, and Anderson's late. She does a nice job with her footwork, but the throw just sails inside. I'm sorry, McGoldrick's over at the bag, and the throw just gets away from her inside the line. So Downs is on second, and Georgia Tech's got the top of the order.
Swing and a miss by Ashley Thomas. She had a bunt single her last time up. Thomas says she wants to be a coach when her playing days are over. Pulls it back, counts even now, ball and a strike. She recently had a 25-game hitting streak stopped. That was impressive.
It's very impressive. And it's impressive in the sport of softball. I'm sorry, the sport of baseball, but you play 9 innings. In softball, you have run rules where games can end in 5 innings.
Absolutely.
Games are 7 innings. So you don't have the same amount of chances to extend a hitting streaks.
Well, how about the fact that she's hit over 400 all year long? Her average has been over 400. Has not dropped below it.
It really says a lot to how hard she's working on her hitting when she's away from the game. So somebody who has the ability to do that is really putting in the hours.
That's a called strike. It's 1-2. 1 run already in the inning. Georgia Tech trying to fight to get their record up to 500. They came into the game 17-21 on the year, 4-4 in league play.
Well, it's so important for them to find a way to be at least at 500 because that's what it takes to be able to qualify for the NCAA.
Thomas, foul ball. You look at the standings, Florida State right now seems to be the class of the league at 9-2. North Carolina's playing well. But then you go down to the next group, Maryland, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, NC State, all right there seeming to be pretty even.
Well, talking about the success of the ACC in softball, Florida State's at 25 in the RPIs, with Virginia Tech at 27, North Carolina 38, NC State at 61, and Georgia Tech at 64. So if they were taking the teams today, all those teams could qualify if some of those, the last couple teams we mentioned, are above 500.
Hit high in the air, and the center fielder Gaskell is there. Runner tags and will move to third base.
Look at that arm strength from Gaskell. She was about 5 feet in front of the warning track, and you could see how strong her arm was with that nice one hop to third base. See her move her feet, get behind the ball, and drive it forward. It's an excellent throw to third base.
That play was closer than you might have thought it was going to be. The batter is Rudnick. She scored in the 3rd inning on that 2-run home run by Hope Rush.
So Hines was successful yesterday, but one thing we talked about was how Georgia Tech prepares. And they had never seen Hines before since she was a freshman. So they went home, back to their hotels, watched video, and you can see they've come out with a new game plan today.
2 balls, no strikes. Still just 1 out. She really does throw hard.
She keeps working hard. She's going to have a nice career behind her. What's nice for Virginia Tech is they look like they're bound for postseason, and they're 2 pitchers deep. Where last year they really relied on Harrell most of the season, and both of them should be fresh heading in now to the NCAA at the end of the year.
Rudnick fouls it back. Count will be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hope Rush is on deck. She's hit a home run in her last 2 at-bats. Good piece of hitting by Rudnick to stay alive. Count's full now. The last thing you want is Hope Rush coming up with a couple of runners on base. And the left fielder, Ake, makes a play, but it's deep enough to get the run home. Haley Downs tags and scores. Second run of the inning. Sac fly for Rudnick.
Rudnick does just enough on this to get it deep enough to score Downs. Georgia Tech increases their lead to 7-1.
And Hope Rush is at the plate. Home runs in her last 2 at-bats. What a day she's had. Has also been outstanding on the mound in the circle. Did not have a good day yesterday, but is making up for it today big time.
How many of her teammates right now are thinking, hit another one? I mean, if she hits another home run right here, I'm going to stand up and clap for her.
I'll join you. I wouldn't think that Kelly Hines is going to give her much to hit with 2 outs and nobody on. Morgan Taylor on deck, who struck out twice today. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rush goes down, but 2 runs cross the plate. And Georgia Tech has extended their lead 7-1 as we head down to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Your score, Georgia Tech 7, Virginia Tech 1.
You can't keep greatness in a box, so we won't. The ACC mobile app, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Imagine seeing this on this. That's greatness. For the ACC schools you live for, it's the app you can't live without. Available on your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Nokia Lumia Windows Phone. The ACC mobile app. Live games, video, scores, stats, news, and greatness. Search ACC Sports on your mobile device. You can't keep greatness in a box, so we won't. The ACC mobile app, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Imagine seeing this on this. That's greatness. For the ACC schools you live for, it's the app you can't live without. Available on your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Nokia Lumia Windows Phone. The ACC mobile app. Live games, video, scores, stats, news, and greatness. Search ACC Sports on your mobile device.
Back in Blacksburg, and Georgia Tech has had an answer for Virginia Tech. Every time they've got something going today, the Hokies, who did score a run in the 5th, now have a tough hill to climb against that lady, Hope Rush, who has pitched very well today. Courtney Little will lead things off for the Hokies. Little doesn't have a hit today. Hope Rush has only given up 3 hits.
Rush has done a nice job, considering in her first game yesterday that Virginia Tech really took control of that game and produced a lot of runs. So she's really made a nice adjustment. But we did see Virginia Tech batters make some adjustments last inning.
That's Logan Spall, who just got nailed by that foul ball. She's on deck trying to shake it off.
Looks like it got her in the hand.
Yeah.
And if her hand was on the bat, you know that hurt.
Inside, a ball and a strike to count to Courtney Little, who's been nominated for the Senior Class Award, which is a very prestigious honor given to a student athlete who not only excels on the field, but in the classroom and also in community service.
She's one of 10 seniors left. They've narrowed it down to 10 seniors. Says a lot to be one of those 10 finalists.
Again, that is a very prestigious award. Again, our congrats to Courtney Little for still being involved in that.
Well, everybody here on campus talks so highly about Little, and not just what she's accomplished on the field, but her character off the field as well.
She has made her name into the record books. #1 all-time on-base percentage, #1 all-time being hit by a pitch, #1 all-time in walks. Pretty solid career. Three balls and a strike to Little. Might have swung at ball 4 right there.
Well, you can see that Rush respects her power. She's just keeping the ball so tight on the inside corner. She knows if she misses at all, that Little can do a lot of damage, not just a little damage.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. Called strike 3. And Little goes down. That's only the second strikeout today for Hope Rush.
Well, she stayed on that inside corner, and then on that full count came right back and put it on the outside corner. If you're a Yellow Jacket, you like that call, but we heard from the Hokie fans there, and they thought that pitch might have been a little outside.
It'll bring up Logan Spall, who's now the Hokie catcher. The Georgia Tech pitcher has been very patient today. You could say that Hope not in a rush. I had to pay you back on something.
I can't even comment on
okay,
that.
Okay, good. Needs no comment. Logan Spall, the 1-0. Cross for a strike. Virginia Tech down to their final 5 outs, and they need 6 runs.
Georgia Tech is 12-1 this year when they have the lead after 5 innings. See how that number game plays.
Spall gets it into right field.
Nice try by Chelsea Thomas. Laid out for it, but the ball just got away from her. Great effort.
#4, Kat Banks.
Base hit and a runner aboard with 1 out for Kat Banks.
Here we see Thomas just out of the reach of her as the ball had that backspin on it and just broke away from her.
Laura Wolf is in to run. Wolf, a junior from Vienna, Virginia.
#8, Laura Wolf.
In to run for Spall. Spall will no doubt re-enter as the Hokies catcher. Banks is 0 for 2 today. She's grounded out to shortstop and hit one to first base. And takes ball 1. The 14th game that Wolf has played in this year. Has 1 stolen base. That is hit, and that is a foul ball, and it is just foul. It just did miss the line. Kat Banks.
Banks does a nice job on this drop ball inside. And it was a great effort by Cates in left field, and you can see that ball just landing to the left of the foul line.
Downstairs. Two balls and a strike to count to Kat Banks. 1 down. And Wolf running for Spaw at first base. Right back to Rush to second for one. She dropped it. Oh my goodness. You don't see that much from Ashley Thomas.
No, and it's just one of those plays where you're so mad at yourself because it's so routine. And I think she just got ahead of herself a little bit because they have so many double plays turned, and it was just that double play ball, and everybody was screaming too. One hopper back to Rush. He fires a strike to her, and she just got ahead of herself and tried to turn it before she had the ball, and the ball got away from her.
Runners at first and second with one out. And the batter is Amanda Ake. Ake's 0 for 2 today. Grounded out to short in the second. Grounded back to the pitcher in the fourth.
So last inning we saw a routine ball get away from Thomas at second, and that cost them a run. And we'll see if Virginia Tech can take advantage of the situation here.
Good pitch by Rush.
Nice changeup. We haven't seen that. She threw it early in the game, but she stopped going to it. When she's okay because she's been successful, but right here, that was a nice mix.
You see Wolf down at second base. Banks on at first. Ball and 2 strikes. Now to Ake, the junior college All-American of a year ago. Game 2 yesterday that Virginia Tech ended in 5 innings, up 10-2. Ake was the big reason. 4 RBIs, had a huge home run. Lifts that one high. Wind grabbed it, but still, here's Cates to make the catch for the second out of the inning.
If you can get all of the ball here with this wind, it's great. It'll go out of the park, but if you just miss, this wind's going to hold everything up in the air.
We'll bring up Danny Anderson, who has scored Virginia Tech's only run today. Had a base hit last inning and was able to come around and score.
Here we see Hope Rush's off speed again. It's a nice look to show when you haven't really shown it so much in a few innings, and then to come back with it as these batters can take their 3rd time around the order. It's nice to come back and mix with that. Keeps them off balance.
Two on, 2 out. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Time is running short for Virginia Tech. And Rush now ahead of Anderson, 0-2.
So we see an off speed there for strike 3, drop 3rd strike. Everybody got a little confused because somebody had called timeout on the field.
I think it was Scott Thomas was trying to call timeout. He's not happy. He tried to call time, didn't get it, and that's going to be the end of the inning. And nothing doing for the Hokies in the 6th. We head to the 7th and final inning. Georgia Tech in firm control.
You can't keep greatness in a box, so we won't. The ACC mobile app, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Imagine seeing this on this. That's greatness. For the ACC schools you live for, it's the app you can't live without. Available on your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Nokia Lumia Windows phone. The ACC mobile app. Live games, video, scores, stats, news, and greatness. Search ACC Sports on your mobile device. The ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games, and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
As you can see, a pretty decent crowd came out here today to watch this game, and this Virginia Tech team, I'll tell you what, is worth watching here in Blacksburg. And they haven't done it today, but you're going to hear from them down the stretch, and I think they'll make some noise in the ACC tournament. The fact that they have two pitchers, I think is really going to help them when they get to tournament play.
It definitely will, and a lot of times that's the difference in postseason, is when you have to rely on one pitcher the whole year, and they come in and they have 45 appearances, something like Harrell did last year. I mean, they were still successful when they went to the postseason. They won 2 games. But if you're 2 pitchers deep, one, you can split games if you need to. Your pitchers are more fresh.
Here's Morgan Taylor as the Yellow Jackets trying to get a little more insurance here in the 7th. The way Hope Rush has been pitching today, not sure they need a whole lot more. Morgan Taylor's 0 for 3. She struck out twice today. I don't know if you can hear that wind in the microphone, but it's picked up even more. I'll tell you what, it's tough to catch up with that pitch from Hines. Really bringing it. Counts full now to Morgan Taylor. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
The Georgia Tech hitters are really making Hines work, though, today. We can see the adjustments that they've made. They're all going deep in the count. No one's going out on just a couple pitches. Seeing a lot of batters going to 2-2 or full count.
Taylor, the freshman from Jacksonville, just 1 hit in the series. How's that one out of play? 1 for 9 in the combined 3 games. And that's ball 4. Leadoff batter aboard for Georgia Tech.
We talked about earlier that right now Georgia Tech's RPI is 64 and Virginia Tech's is 27. So if Georgia Tech can hold on to this win and fight to get above 500, this win would really propel them a little bit in the RPI standings.
And in to run Kelly DeLashmunt for Georgia Tech.
For Georgia Tech, number 7, Kelly
DeLashmunt has been their top pinch runner all season long. So she's running for Taylor. And the batter's Johnsky, Katie Johnsky. Johnsky has a base hit today. Takes high, ball 1. '29th game that DeLashmunt's been used as a pinch runner. And that is put into center field for a base hit, and Georgia Tech's threatening to get even more. Flashman moves to second. And a base hit for Katie Johnsky, her second of the day.
Nice hitting by Johnsky and taking advantage where Hines falls behind in the count. And the second she comes with the strike, Johnsky jumps all over it.
And we're going to have another pitcher. It'll be the third of the day for Virginia Tech. Maggie Tyler, 6'1" freshman out of Pequoson, Virginia, is in to pitch. Maggie Tyler with a record of 2-0, and it's only her 9th appearance of the year. She's pitched 18 1/3 innings, allowed 15 runs, 13 of them earned, walked 15 and struck out 13. Maggie Tyler, an ERA of 4.96.
Tyler is mainly a drop ball pitcher, and although she doesn't have a lot of innings under her belt, some of her starts this year were games that were canceled for Virginia Tech, so she missed out on some opportunities. So it's nice to see her get an opportunity right here and see if she can shut the door on Georgia Tech.
Well, the Yellow Jackets have 2 on and nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. And Courtney Zize, the catcher, who has scored twice today, is at the plate. Last time was on a home run. Zize, who has 2 home runs this weekend. This freshman's bat is really starting to come to life.
So Tyler, being a drop ball pitcher, should produce some ground balls. We'll see if the Hokie defense can support her here late in the game.
Count even, a ball and a strike to Courtney. Only had 1 hit last weekend for Georgia Tech in the NC State series, but has got 2 homers this weekend. Upstairs, 3-1, a walk to load the bases with nobody out. There's a strike, and the count's full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
It's a nice job by Tyler coming in and picking up a strikeout in the first batter she faces.
Now the first baseman Coffey's the batter, Caitlin Coffey. 0 for 3, struck out her last time up. It's also grounded out to third and grounded out to second. That is lifted into the outfield. The wind caught that one. Home run. Caitlin Coffey with a home run. Put some more on the board for Georgia Tech.
These Georgia Tech hitters are feeling a groove. They're feeling confident today. They came in with a plan and they stuck to the plan, which is something that Coach Perkins says they did not do yesterday. And right here we see Coffey just be aggressive, balls right over the middle of the plate, and she gets all of it as she takes it out of the yard.
How about this? Coffey comes into the game hitting only 103, but she does have a home run, so that is her second home run of the season. Put 3 more on the board.
That's the thing about the Georgia Tech batters and their offense. It's contagious. When some of them put runs on the board, it's like everybody contributes 1 through 9 in the lineup, and we're seeing that here today.
What an impressive performance by Georgia Tech. 10-1 the score.
And we said today Georgia Tech had to come out and show what they were made out of.
They've done it.
We've seen a little bit of their toughness today.
Chelsea Thomas is the batter. Thomas singled and scored in the 6th.
I'll tell you what players do today that they didn't do, I think, years ago, and that is when I came out to the ballpark today, I heard Georgia Tech, their players stretching and laughing and talking and chit-chatting. And I just thought, God, they lost 2 games yesterday, and they're out here in good spirits. Where I think in the old days, it used to be you'd carry that into the next day and you'd come out mad and you'd play mad, but they just have there's just a different sense about some of the players today. And for them to come out and still stay committed, still play with the killer instinct, but their approach pregame, I think, is just a little bit different.
Be a pinch hitter here for Georgia Tech, Maddie Lionberger. And when you talked about those freshmen for Georgia Tech, Lionberger's another one of them. She's out of Austin, Texas. This will be her 3rd at-bat of this series. She was 0 for 2 yesterday. Lionberger fouls it back, hitting 197, a home run, and 9 RBIs on the year. So Lionberger hitting for Haley Downs.
See a little bit off speed by Tyler right there.
That is 4 home runs by Georgia Tech hitters today, 2 by Hope Rush. One from Courtney Zizi, and another we've seen this inning, a 3-run shot from Caitlin Coffey. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Ground ball, that's over Tyler's head. Great play by the shortstop. Runner is safe. B.K. Smith almost made a tremendous play.
Lionberger gets it up the middle. B.K. Smith covered a lot of ground just to cut that ball off, but she fielded it just behind second base. Really no chance for a throw.
Haley Downs is going to re-enter and run at first base.
The game, number 1, Haley Downs. At bat, number 5, Ashley Thomas.
Top of the order, Ashley Thomas up now for Georgia Tech. 2 out here in the inning. Thomas bunted for a base hit back in the 4th inning. And lifts that one for a hit into center field.
So Thomas keeping it going and not being satisfied with this 9-run advantage they have over the Hokies, and it brings up Rudnick, who's, as we know, is swinging a great bat herself. And on deck is Hope Rush.
That was the 12th hit today for Georgia Tech. It's been a tremendous performance at the plate. Unlike the 2 games yesterday, and there's Alicia Rudnick. Hit a sacrifice flyer last time up. Ground ball, B.K. Smith flips it over to second. That's the 3rd out of the inning, but there was another big blow. 4th home run of the day. Caitlin Coffey doing a little dance in the dugout, and why not? A 3-run shot. We head to the bottom of the 7th.
The ACC Digital Network, the ultimate video destination for ACC fans. Exclusive highlights, live streaming games and original live programming, unique access to the student athletes of our time and the legendary voices of all time. Defining moments, personal stories, incredible analysis from authentic ACC sources, cutting-edge content from the leaders in the digital space. The ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.
Out with the old and in with the delicious. Commit to bold taste with the new flavor resolutions menu at Ruby Tuesday. 10 entrees starting at $9.99. Try our savory barbecue brushed ribs and bacon wrapped shrimp. Or take it up a notch by adding coconut crusted shrimp to our mango salsa topped Caribbean chicken. Plus, enjoy our endless garden bar, free with any chef inspired entree. Ruby Tuesday. It's all good here. Start the new year with savings. Visit rubytuesday.com today for a $5 coupon.
For the Hokies, number 18.
And we welcome you back to Blacksburg. 3 more outs remaining for Virginia Tech as we head now to the bottom of the 7th inning. And Hope Rush has certainly done the job today. The bottom 2 spots in the order. Bailey Little, her second at bat of the game, flew out to left, if you remember. Just did miss getting a hold of it in her first at bat. Now 1 for 8 on the season. Count even, a ball and a strike. Hokies down to their final 3 outs, and they need 9 runs. That's a tall hill to climb. Bailey Little, younger sister of Courtney.
She had a nice cutter last at bat.
Indeed.
I like her stance. I think she looks like she's really got a game plan.
She's had limited at bats this year. This is just her 9th at bat of the season.
And she may blossom after her sister leaves. Sometimes just things can change. You learn a lot of lessons, and then once you're here in a situation by yourself, sometimes it all falls into place. Like this right here.
That's to the fence. That is her 2nd hit of the season, and it's a double. How about Bailey Little?
It's a nice job for Little, especially with a 9-run deficit here in the 7th inning, and she starts things off. And she just takes this pitch, and it takes an inside pitch and really just stays through it with a nice swing and gets it through the gap.
Tell you what, her 2 at bats here might earn her a few more down the road. B.K. Smith, the batter now. Outside, 1-0. B.K. Smith looking for her first hit today. Fouls it back, evens the count, 1-1. That hit by Bailey Little, just the 5th hit of the day off of Hope Rush.
Well, it says a lot about Rush on her game plan today, but the other thing about Hope Rush is she is a senior. So they have plenty of video, plenty of scouting. So for her to come out and hold Virginia Tech like she has, and with the run production that Virginia Tech has produced this week, really shows the job that Rush has done.
Little behind it, lifts it up and out of play. If you're Hope Rush, you just want to throw strikes right now. You don't worry too much about location. And there's one down as Caitlin Coffey makes the play herself.
Now batting, number 3, Lauren Gaskell.
Hokies down now to their final 2 outs. And the top of the order, Lauren Gaskell. Hokie center fielder has had a base hit today. On that ground ball, Little did move to third base. But I don't think Georgia Tech cares too much about that run. Now when you're up 9.
Georgia Tech's just trying to get outs. Hope's just going right at the batters, knowing she's got a great lead. And you can almost see the frustration sitting in a little bit with the Hokies. And they just have to be disappointed with how they played today. But let's not take credit away from Georgia Tech. They really came out with a game plan, and I think that was the difference here today. They stuck to their plan.
That one's lined and a great stop. Chelsea Thomas made a great effort at it, but scored a base hit by Gaskell, and Bailey Little scores. Second run of the day for Georgia Tech.
Gaskell lines this ball, and Thomas makes a nice diving play. I thought she almost had that. Throws it on a bounce. Just short hops Coffey at first base, but really a great athletic play.
Now McGoldrick falls behind 0-1. Score is 10-2 now. Well, you can hear some fans.
I think it's safe to say
the game 10-2, still not enjoying the calls from the umpire.
We can hear the hometown fans a little disappointed with that last call, that changeup by Hope Rush.
That's hit to left field, and that is out of here, home run. McGoldrick with a home run. Put 2 more on the board for Virginia Tech. For McGoldrick, that is her 4th home run of the season.
And that's a nice piece of hitting by McGoldrick, because she was disappointed with the strike that was called prior to that pitch. And she takes this drop ball that really is just down the middle and just launches it over the left field wall. And it says a lot about her power. When you go opposite field home run on a windy day like this, you got a little pop in your bat.
It'll bring up Courtney Little. Scores now 10-4. Rush misses with the first pitch. Courtney Little doesn't have a strike today. Or a hit today. She's struck out her last 2 times up.
Well, she's really worked her on the inside part of the plate, but the strikeout pitches have been an off speed, and then on the last strikeout it was a curveball. But where she's gotten ahead a little today is she's going with the drop inside and just having Little pull it foul. And then she's mixing it up later in the count.
Virginia Tech trying to make something happen here in the bottom of the 7th. Hope Rush trying to finish this game off for Georgia Tech. And that's a base hit to left field.
So Little finally makes an adjustment and gets that inside pitch and drives it to left field. And we have a rally here going in the 7th inning. Nice piece of hitting by Little. Nice to see her make that adjustment.
Still a long way to go. But Virginia Tech is trying to end this game on somewhat positive note.
We see pitching coach Lisa Norris out talking to the team. And really just what you're saying here is let's make the routine play. She's just trying to slow it up a little bit, take some momentum away from the Hokies, and she's just telling Rush, let's just get out. Just, you know, keep the ball down, keep the ball in the infield, let your defense play behind you.
Logan Spall is the batter. This is the heart of the Virginia Tech order here. Spall is the cleanup hitter. It's a little on at first. Already 3 runs in the inning.
Nice job by Rush getting ahead of the batter. And this is what has given her success a lot today is she stayed ahead of the batters as well as most innings except for 2, she's gotten the leadoff batter out. And in both innings where the Hokies got the leadoff batter on were the innings that they've scored.
Nothing in 2 now, the count to Logan Spall. That was across the outside corner. Oh my, what a catch. Katie Johnsky makes a nice play on it.
Well, Katie Johnsky has had a nice Sunday afternoon at the ballpark. Couple base hits and now this fine defensive play. She lays all out, extends, and really that could be the nail that puts them down right there to take away any rally here in the 7th inning. They really needed to get that second out.
Virginia Tech's now down to its final out. Kat Banks is the batter. Swings at that first pitch to left field. That's it, ball game. Kaylin Cates makes the catch in left for the 3rd out of the inning. Virginia Tech gets 3 runs across, but not near enough. Georgia Tech wins game 3 of this series by a score of 10-4. Virginia Tech won the doubleheader yesterday, so they do claim the series, winning 2 games out of 3.
Thank you for attending today's game. The final score is
Hope
Virginia
Rush
Tech 4 and Georgia
was
Tech 10. The Hokies
fantastic
will return home on
in the
Wednesday,
circle
April
and
17th
hit
to
2
take
home
on
runs
Illinois
today.
Panthers in a doubleheader starting
And
at
look at the
5
line score there,
Thank you for your
Barbara.
support of Hokie softball.
10 runs on 12 hits. Pretty impressive day for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, we talked about the biggest thing was we were going to see what Georgia Tech was made out of today, and they showed us that. And they showed how committed they are to this season. And they came out with a game plan today, and they stuck to it for 7 innings, and that's why they were successful.
Georgia Tech the winner again, 10-4. For Barbara Jordan and our entire crew, I'm Mike Hogwood saying so long and thanks for watching ACC Softball on the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday.